Before the show, Keith had swallowed a gorilla tranquilizer.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezer Show, your weekly rock news outlet for all the news that's worth knowing, quite honestly. And there's a crazy good amount of news out there this week, as always. It never ceases to amaze me, all the wacky stuff these rock and rollers do. And today we got a pretty good lineup. We got a pretty solid lineup. Linkin Park, boy, oh boy, they're surprising the heck out of everybody. Well, probably not everybody, probably not their hardcore fans, but surprising the heck out of everybody else. And got an interesting statistic that we need to talk about, Doc, brought to my attention that I found pretty freaking fascinating. So we're going to delve into that, if I may delve. Yeah. And Tommy Lee can't stay out of the news, of course. And it's never, he's always in the news. It's never in a good way. And of course, this follows the suit there. Orianthi, always in a good way. Good to see her in the news. We'll be talking about her. A group called Knock Loose. I can't wait to get into this story. This story, it's mind blowing. You'll see what we mean. And we've got to talk about one of our favorite punk bands that's having a little issue oriented problem in their situation. And a little bit of Lemmy's ashes, of course. They're moving around the world, as they always do. They just can't stay still. And sure enough, somebody found more of his ashes, and they're sending him to a very a place that figures, quite honestly, the way I see it. But I got to talk about this and all the other stuff. And, of course, can't do it without my co-host over there. That'd be Doc Vox. What's shaking, Doc?
Yes, sir. Yeah, lots of groovy stories, as we were saying. So, yeah, getting things going here. Though Doc had some technical issues, but we're rolling now. So, thanks for checking in, and hope everybody had a great long Thanksgiving weekend and enjoyed that Bears game and on Thanksgiving, all that good stuff.
Oh,
So,
it's a torture. Yeah. The weekly torture for Bears fans. Ugh.
So yeah, here we are, like we are every Monday. Got the news for you, and if you like this sort of thing, you remember old MTV News, this might be a kind of channel for you. Please consider subscribing or otherwise engaging. That would be most appreciative. And
Sure.
yeah, this week, man, starting off, we are witnessing a major comeback. That's for sure.
Boy, oh boy, where are they? Where are they? There they are. They are Linkin Park with, of course, former Dead Sarah vocalist Emily Armstrong. And she's a screamer. I'll give her that, boy. She can belt it out, if you will. And this is from the Forbes site headline. Linkin Park claims the entire top 10 on one Billboard chart. So that's pretty freaking amazing. It says here, Linkin Park's enjoying their biggest weeks ever on the Billboard charts. I guess, Jiminy Creepers, and they've changed how they consider, top 10 songs and whatnot, new tallies, various changes on how they're compiled. But this is like the group's most impressive frame ever in the U.S. And, they got a comeback album From Zero. And boy, oh boy, it earned lofty debut on several tallies, if you will. So, boy, oh boy, four of the songs have been released prior to the full-length album, or whatever you call it these days, releasing. But now the rest of the cuts, which were saved until the project was made available in full, are landing on Billboard's lists as well. So everything's coming up roses for Linkin Park, if you will. Yeah. And good for them, they
little Ethel Merman there, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, everything's coming up roses. Yeah, Ethel. There you go. That's back when entertainers were entertainers. But these entertainers here, I must say, they're kicking ass and taking names. And of course, their tour, sold out immediately. Boom, done for. And we've been talking about them for a few weeks because ever since Emily joined them. There was everybody was questioning it for the most part, and Chester Bennington, the late lead singer, his son but is still putting up crap after what, 7, 8 years since he's been gone. And Jamie Bennington's still putting up crap. How dare they, sully the memory of my dad or whatever. And this don't seem like they're doing too much sullying at this point. I think a lot of people in America, a lot of rock fans are darn glad they're back, and more power to them. I deal with them. They're okay in my book. I'm not a real huge Linkin Park fan, but they have definitely found a niche, and holy smokums, they're gonna make bank on it now, Doc. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is they have 11 songs on the album, and they are all high in the charts. So they own the top 10. This is in the hard rock charts. It's not in the Billboard, pop 100. Obviously, it's not. But yeah, for from the album From Zero, yeah, the hard rock songs chart just been around since 2020, so it's a relatively new chart.
Oh,
And they just they try to get the more charts, the more accolades that go out, the more albums that get sold. So
sure.
but yeah, this kind of in the whole chart system in the sound scan era, which came around 1990, where it was solely just based off of sales.
Yeah,
Before that, it was just kind of where the song sales and airplay, and just there was other factors, just kind of how it was in the culture, how long it be. I don't know. There's a lot of factors involved.
sure.
But then it started 1990. They started making it just based on sales, and since then, yeah. So
I'll
they've
be
had this one
darned.
around for a few years. It's also now these are UK charts here, but it's a #1 album in album sales, downloads, physical albums, the rock and metal chart, and it's second on the album streaming charts.
Wow.
So
Wow. Good for them. Good for them.
and it's also been on 4 other charts, including they did a collaboration with Jay-Z that's on the hip hop charts. So they're just they're just making a major resurrection here, man. They're just
well, good for them. Maybe I have to
I can't
listen.
recall a comeback. I guess I never cared for them. They're kind of formulaic to me, but
I'm gonna
with
have
the
to
new
listen.
gal, I haven't checked it out too much. But
Oh,
hopefully it
I
they
dug
got
her
a
in
new
Dead
sound.
Sarah, man. I dug her
Yeah,
in Dead Sarah. Ooh, boy. But yeah,
but
I'm gonna have to give it a listen. You know what? I'm a geezer, but I'll listen to the youngsters. I guess give the
yeah, sure.
youngsters a ear, see what's up with that. I may dig since I am a hard rock guitarist. I may dig that. So I don't know. I'll give it a listen. See, it can't be that bad. Jeez, I'm sorry. It must be great. I'm just kidding. It must be great. Doc, you brought this to my attention and it totally blew my mind. The year 1989. Holy smokes. You think, my gosh, that's I don't know. I don't know what the hell came out that year musically. Do you? Do you, Doc? Do you remember
Oh
anything
yeah,
that's come out?
sure.
All sorts of weird stuff. Well, this is this this blows my mind, man. This makes me just want to go dig a hole and jump in it. The where's this from? Where's this side? This is from the Enemy, or the good people of Enemy. More music released in a single day in 2024 than the whole year of 1989. That says this study. Wow. Oh, that's called inundation there. Inundated with music. The Music Radar report also estimates there are over 75 million music creators in the world, with the number expected to more than double by 2030. That's only 6 years. So see, it's just,
Yeah, they're saying by 2030, 198.2 million
oh boy.
music creators. So that's
I,
a good sized country right there, man. For everybody making music on their home computers, and it's 99.999% all crap, man.
yeah, well,
It's
see
definitely
there it
it's
is.
definitely a quantity and not quality. That's for sure.
Well, if you recall, too, back in the day, a while back, the guy from Spotify, they cut their payout thing, and he said basically because it doesn't cost anything to make music these days, so blah blah blah, and this is sort of a factoid that goes along with that. There may be 75 million people creating music, but maybe only 100th of that is any good. The rest of it could just be crap.
Yeah, I
So,
like to see how
but
many
it'll
people are
still
actually
end up
making
on
a living at
Spotify,
it.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, just another stat here: 120,000 new songs per day on
Oh
Spotify.
man.
43 million a year.
Ah,
So,
uh,
when you
uh,
get into those kind of numbers, these folks they're not doing it for a living. I like to see how many are actually doing it for. This is just at hobby level. People are just now
well,
with their
yeah.
tools and
Or
they're
remember,
just
remember we talked about the guy who had AI create thousands of songs for him, put them
right.
out on Spotify, and made 10 million bucks before they got
Yeah, and then had
they
bots listening to them and and streaming them.
yeah,
Yeah,
made so we're in really odd times,
no
especially with
doubt.
AI now, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show about AI. But yeah, with it, jeez,
Well, remember they
that
had the change too in Spotify. You alluded to a little bit. They moved the kick in mark. I guess you had to have at least 1,000 streams before the fraction of a penny even kicked in.
right.
So so I guess that's kind of to filter out a lot of these kind of hobbyists. I guess they're just putting stuff
Well,
on there.
I can't complain, and that makes sense to me for crying out loud. But boy, oh boy, that's just wow. That's too many people, man. The whole year of 1989, and we make it in one day now. Wow, that just guys like me, sitting at home with my Pro Tools or whatever. That I'm sure there's something way far better now. I'm sure Pro Tools is probably considered geezer stuff,
Right.
antiquated. The way things are moving so fast. Boy, oh boy, that is just wow. Well, yeah, I got my little computer over there with my Pro Tools and my
And
little
the
mic.
thing too, I get a kick out of, especially with this generation. They love labels, man. They love having everything's got to have a label. And with just
Mhm.
that much music, you can't have that many genres, man, and
Yeah.
subgenres and cross genres and cross pollination of genres and it's just music when it comes out at some point. So I don't
Well,
know. I don't know.
it's like over in Norway and Sweden, there's so many different genres of metal, the
Oh,
death,
right.
geez, it's death metal and speed metal and Lord knows what else kind of metal,
Symphonic metal
metal.
and
Oh gosh, yeah,
black
but
metal and
yeah, music's going in weird places right now. It just is, especially with AI. But wow. Yeah. And everybody's ability to just record fairly decent music right at home, you know, that sort of, well, hopefully it'll bring
And
out
how
some
much
good.
of that is just some, guy sitting in his basement, thinking he can rap, and just,
Yeah.
finding some beat online or something and rapping over it, and who knows? Gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. You don't even have to create the music, the computer will make, you just hit
Yeah.
one note on a keyboard and you're going to have a whole freaking
Just
symphony
sample.
playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sample. So that's pretty crazy, man. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't think it'll turn out good myself, but
Well, it
always the
definitely hasn't
pessimist.
right now. I mean, you look at the sheer amount they're talking about and how much of it's any good, very little. And even if it's out there, it's got to be so hard to find. It's got to be so difficult to find just to sort through
Yeah.
the mass of it's just crazy. So that's when you're pretty much, up to the record companies or whatever that's gonna,
Well,
whatever
that's where you
you're
got.
online, whatever that's gonna expose a group to you. Otherwise, I mean, it's almost impossible to discover anybody.
Well, like me, I got 12 originals, pretty much 80% done. Just waiting on a vocalist. I'm looking into hopefully getting a vocalist soon and finishing them. But the main thing in this day and age, you put out a song, fine, but if you don't have a video, forget about it. Forget about it. You got to have video. You got to have it on the. You can't just have. If you want, if you want to be heard, you're gonna have to be seen first. You know, through YouTube
Right,
or
that's what I'm saying, or some
Rumble or one of
platform or
them.
something, right? Yeah,
Not just the song itself, not just the audio. This days you got to have a video.
yeah.
And
Otherwise, yeah,
some of the quirkiest music is because of a weird video that just catches people's eye, and suddenly it
oh yeah,
goes
true that.
viral, and boom, ay caramba! But oh, I love this. I love it. Where's the picture? Where is? Oh God, there it is. Oh, there's Tom. Is that Tommy Lee with P Diddy? Holy smokes, it is Tommy Lee with P Diddy. I wonder
One
why
of
you're
those white parties they talk
why
about? Is that one of those?
you think? Yeah.
Oh,
Well, here we
jeez.
go. Let's delve into this one from the good people of rock celebrities. Here's the headline: Tommy Lee deletes controversial post on Diddy, issues a statement. Oh, here we go. Holy cow. He says here Motley Crue's drummer Tommy Lee might have been hacked on X. Bullshit, I'm saying about that.
Bullshit.
But here we
With a
go.
capital BS, man.
Yes, let's read. I'm going to read the whole article here. It's not that long, but the drummer shared a post earlier about P Diddy and how he should be free. However, this didn't last long since he recently deleted it and later said he was hacked. In a post about Diddy, he wrote, "Y'all seen the news? They denied his third attempt at bailing out. This is unacceptable, so we're fighting back at the system. Free Diddy on Solano is the first step forward, raising the much needed awareness on the truth." Holy cow. And then that's what he initially posted, and then the post was deleted later. And the rocker shared a screenshot in another post and wrote, "Some F-head be posting this shit. Not me. Hacked." Exclamation point, blah, blah. The drummer added in another post, "Just creeping closer to a full delete account. I'm cool with that. Nobody cares." Oh boy. See, herein lies the problem. Lee's first post caught a fan's eye, sharing that he might be lying about getting hacked. The user shared 4 different photos of Diddy and Lee together. I imagine that was probably one of them that I've got behind me there. "Bro, is this you? Seems like you and Diddy are solid as F. Hacked." "Sure," she wrote. Another, oh, geez. So there you go, Tommy Lee. Of all the people that would be at a P. Diddy white party, Tommy Lee is probably the top of the list. So, yeah, he's probably, I bet, oh, boy.
Oh yeah, Diddy wants to get him in there for sure, man. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
this isn't hack, man. His PR rep or somebody got in his ear and said, "Dude, what are you doing, man? Get that shit down and
he was
blame it on
all
somebody
whacked
else."
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody called him on his personal phone and said, "Dude, what do you think?
right.
Are you insane?" He's all whacked out.
Well,
Hey,
we already know
yeah.
he's just the most immature. He really is. He's the biggest man child there is.
Oh
He's so
gosh.
immature, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, this just goes right. This follows with his MO for sure. Because there's no doubt he was taking part. Right. I don't know if I guess we will find out. They're saying, right? The lists are going to
Well,
come out. So
eh,
yeah,
boy.
we haven't talked a
Well,
lot about
just
this just
like
because there's so much and everything else. But
so much, but
uh,
well, yeah, well, just like the Epstein list, that's lost because probably half of Hollywood and half of Washington would go down. So
right.
I don't think we're gonna see the P Diddy list because half of Hollywood, half of the music world, and a whole bunch of politicians would go down. See that's there. There's
It's a sick
your
world, man.
well, we're the serfs, we're the serfs and they're the righteous, and we don't get to, see the wrongs that they're doing. They get to hide them from us. So I doubt if we'll see P. Diddy's list. And I can guarantee, well, there's proof right there behind me that he went to some white parties. And I haven't heard much about the white parties, but knowing P. God, Ellen, years ago, wished him a happy birthday and said some cryptic shit about, that everybody's trying to figure out what she
Right.
meant now.
Yeah, I've seen a
So,
few of those. Yeah. Yeah.
oh yeah. So Tommy Lee, I'm sure he's at the top of the list. Probably just a whole bunch. I hope the list comes out. Let him fall. I'm sorry. You know, do the crime, pay the. Oh wait, do the crime, pay the time. I don't know. I can't remember that slogan from back in the day. Do the crime, pay the time. So we'll
Don't do
see
the
what
crime
happens.
if you can't do the time.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you,
they
guys.
got his trial's not set for May 5th, man. So it's got a long time. Oh,
Wow.
7 months,
Yeah, and he's still they
plus
still ain't
the
letting
hard
him
time
out.
they've had.
He's well, he offered 50 million cash on bail to let him out, and they still wouldn't let him out. 50
Wow.
million cash he offered them, and they still wouldn't let him out. So boy, he's just got to be going nuts in the big house. the Huskow, if you will.
They must consider him a hell of a flight risk. I mean, obviously he's got the money for it, but yeah, we've been trying to steer clear of the whole Diddy thing. But this that Tommy Lee totally lines up, man. Totally lines up.
Oh yeah,
I'm out for a second, man.
oh yeah. How many It's not if he's been to one of Diddy's parties; it's how many parties he's been to. Because ain't no doubt about it. He's yeah, and I hope the list comes out. I'm sorry. We're just normal people here. We don't do weird crap like that, and think we can get away with it. Crash, we can't get away with a speeding ticket. So, and they think they can just, I'm sure the cocaine was flying and whatever the hell else drugs they got these days.
Oh, I'm sure there was
Ecstasy or
Molly was invited to all the parties. I'm
Molly.
sure.
Is that?
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
So some
yeah.
ecstasy, yeah.
Molly. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh almighty. So, yeah, more, if the chips fall, let them fall because they're all jerks anyway, especially the politicians. That's enough of politics. Let's move on to a feel good story. God, I love this story. We always talk about how Alice Cooper, he's like one of the best businessmen in rock. I mean, he never burns bridges ever. Just does never burn bridges. I can't think of a time he's burned a bridge. And sure enough, here's another example. We all love her. We need her. That would be Orianthi. Orianthi, where is she? Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, there she is. That's her last stint with Alice. You can tell. She's got blood coming down her face. Look at the corpse behind her on top of the speaker. So that had to be a shot from when she played with Alice previously.
I would think, yeah.
Alice Cooper, Orianthi, returning to the Alice Cooper Band for some January and February 2025 tour dates. It's not a complete return. It's just filling in because here, let's go through the good people of, where are we here? Blabbermouth. There we go. Hello, Blabbermouth. Alice Cooper has announced that Orianthi will be rejoining his band for shows January 31st through February 16th, filling in for Nita Strauss, who unfortunately has conflicting obligations on her own. And Orianthi, of course, toured with Alice from 2011 to 2014, along with Chuck Garrett, Glenn Sobel, Tommy Hendrickson, and Ryan Roxie. And here's Alice. When Orianthi moved on to pursue her own career in 2014, we were lucky enough to find Nita. Over the past decade, Nita, Chuck, and Tommy have also launched their own products, and we always try to coordinate our schedule so we can keep the band together. But these shows came up after Nita had already committed to another tour. So I reached out to Orianthi, and thankfully she was available to jump back in, no doubt. So we're all really looking forward to doing these shows with her. I'm so fortunate to always have such great musicians to work with. The guy's the epitome of a rock musician, a rock businessman. He just he always does it right. Sure enough, don't burn any bridges, and she can roll right back in, and that's very cool. I personally, I like oil and water to me. I'm sort of surprised, because Orianthi just doesn't seem like the Alice Cooper hardcore, get down, but I'm sure she fits in splendidly. What do you think about that there, Doc?
Yeah, it just goes back to just that family thing. And we've talked about when different folks have come and gone out of Alice's band, and they always have a dinner, and you're welcome back anytime. Doors always open, and that's just so cool that Nita replaced her back in 2014. Orianthi was
right.
guitarist that she replayed. Now she's kind of filling in for her. And like I said, she did her solo stint for a while. And it looks like she's got some leftover gigs from that to take care of, I guess. I don't know. They ain't
Well,
specified,
she lined up a little tour, and just sadly things clashed. But that's cool though. But yeah, I saw Alice in '88 open up for Guns N' Roses, Nuns and Moses, and back then he had Kane Roberts with him. And you remember Kane filled in for a bit of last year.
Yep,
he filled in for part of the tour.
For Nita,
so he's always got guys he can rely on, guys or gals.
And they're always happy to come back, man. They're always, hey, Alice needs me, I'm there, and Orianthi's doing it, and
I remember Kane, just because he was even muscle bound back then, and he had the flame throwing guitar. That's what I remember most. I don't know if Kip Winger was playing with him at that time, but Kip Winger's another one who played with Alice on bass. So
I
I
think
mean,
that's how he was introduced to Orianthi was through
you're
him.
right.
I
You're
think
right.
I've read that before. If I'm right.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, she's doing what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gigs filling in. Most of them through the South, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina,
Florida, yes.
Georgia. So
I'd like to be there now. Things are getting a little colder here, Doc. Boy, oh boy, it's not
and then
good.
of course we talked about last week with the My Chemical Romance, and Alice is going to be doing some opening dates for them, and they say Nita will be back for that.
Wow,
So
there you go.
yeah.
You know, just be able to move people in and out as needed. That's Alice, though. You know, and he always puts on a good show. Of course, you know he's legendary. I caught wind of him back with "Love It to Death." You know, with 2 older brothers.
Right.
Yeah, "Love It to Death," man. That was a big thing. I'm 18, of course, but the whole
Right.
album was fabulous. And then, of course,
The Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Ballad of Dwight
Yeah.
Fry. Listen to you. Wow. Holy cow. And then he came out with what I think is the best Cooper album, and that's Killer. Killer just that blew it all wide open, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
my introduction was $1 Billion Babies, and then kind
ah,
of went back from there. And yeah, it's,
ah.
I got all those of the Alice Cooper band. To me, that's the crux of the biscuit right there, man. That's what you want. Up to Welcome to My Nightmare, and I got a few
Right.
after that too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
boy, that early stuff. Oh, and even School's Out. Jeez, that's just crazy
Yeah.
good. Crazy good. But that's good old Alice, and we dig him, and that's all I got to say about. All right, moving on. Yeah, we've got an interesting story here. See you later, Orianthi. Goodbye, Orianthi. Hello, Jimmy Kimmel. There he is, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, legendary late night talk show host. I don't know. He seems to be pretty upset right there in the picture. He's not a happy camper. He's
I wonder
really
what that
not.
was about. I wonder what upset him so much.
Well, it could be this. It appears that Knock Loose, according to Rock Feed, it appears that Knock Loose and a gal named Poppy, the singer, their performance on Jimmy Kimmel has ruffled some feathers with his audience. Commenters on Facebook complained about their set and demanded a formal apology. One commenter wrote,
Heavens.
yeah, if I have to read the lyrics, I'll just read them and not listen to someone yell them. That wasn't singing. Anyone can yell lyrics and get paid." Another added, "That's this was not enjoyable. And you can't understand more than 5% of the lyrics. Moshing doesn't here we go. Moshing doesn't not equal dancing." There you go. There, Jiminy Creepers. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
grammar there.
Let me read that again from one of Jimmy Kimmel's viewers. Exactly how he put it. This was this what not enjoyable, and you can't understand more than 5% of the lyrics. Moshing doesn't not equal dancing. There you go. And this viewer demanded a formal apology. You know, here we go. I love the recreations. I was trying to enjoy the program. I was sitting on that couch with my son, who is an adolescent. He had to put that in capital letters,
An
adolescent.
impressionable adolescent,
Yes.
no doubt.
Okay, I'll add that. Yeah, my son, who was an impressionable adolescent, waiting to see the musical guest because we like the nice music the show usually books. Let's repeat that. We like the nice music this show usually books. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. By the third or fourth junt from the guitars, my son was in tears. He was in tears. He doesn't like scary things. And quite frankly, I think the Kimmel Show and his staff should make a formal apology. Now, hang on here. Goodbye, crying Jimmy. Let's get to the band right there. There they are. There's Knock Loose with Poppy. They look like an enjoyable bunch of people I'd be more than happy to party with. But no, not the fan on Jimmy Kimmel's show. No, we can't do that. We can't have fun. Geez, I I feel sorry. I really feel sorry for this listener because I watched the performance, and it's heavy. Sure, it's heavy enough, But I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, if this particular listener was to see Meshuggah, he'd shrivel up like in that mummy movie with Brandon, what's his name, where the mummy just takes him and they just shrivel up into nothing. I fear that would happen with this cat because Meshuggah is like,
Yeah, not ready for that.
Meshuggah, yeah, no, but just the fact that really, sitting there watching an adolescent, and it wasn't bad. They were kicking ass. But it was doing a lot of this hollering and
A
screaming.
lot of the
Hey,
guttural stuff. Yeah,
get
yeah.
over it. That's part of the whole musical
And you know what?
scene.
Like I always said, you know what? Turn it off, man. Change the channel. There's a million of them out there, man. You don't have to watch it. You really don't.
Well,
You know?
yeah, and this line here, because we like the nice music the show usually books. That says
Don't
it
you
all right
boys
there.
know any nice songs?
Yeah. All the nice bands he usually books. That says it all right there, that one sentence. Oh, we're here for the nice music. We wouldn't want my adolescent son to be challenged by anything other than nice music. Jimmy, and of course we can see what happens when he doesn't book nice music. There it goes. He starts crying to his producers. What the hell are you doing? You're
I
not
always
booking
found it
nice
interesting.
music.
Throughout the years, you've had those like where something that it's seemingly out of place will be on a talk show like that or something. Comes to mind is I remember way back in the day when Gene Simmons was on Mike Douglas show. Remember that kind of stuff?
Oh,
And
he
they were
had
on
some
there.
old
So
lady actress or something there
yeah, Tony
freaking out.
Fields. Yeah, Tony Fields. I mean, she was giving it to him. Yeah, but yeah, that's great when you see him like kind of out of context like that, kind of like two worlds clashing, kind of. But
I'm proud to say.
yeah, people were kind of clutching their pearls on this one, but whatever, man. Just come
Speaking
on.
of late night, I personally saw Jimi Hendrix on the Tonight Show, starring Flip Wilson. Flip was filling in that night
Oh
for
yeah.
Johnny for some reason. It was Flip Wilson filling in, and he had Jimmy on, and I was so excited. And he started the first song, and blew his amplifier up like right away. Blew his amplifier. I remember they had to go to commercial, and then he came back and he went back at it again. But that's I actually saw Jimi Hendrix on the Tonight Show,
Yeah.
and that was so cool. But
yeah, but I mean, you couldn't imagine. I mean, I don't know, seeing Iron Maiden on Carson back in the day or something. That probably would have been a bit much for the Midwest folks. But
yeah, well, they weren't around back in the day. Well, they were around back in the
I'm saying,
late
yeah,
Carson
even
days.
yeah.
But back in the early days, well, no, yeah. But Carson, he was whack-jack. But yeah, Jimi Hendrix on the
But
Tonight
they
Show.
are. When we were talking about the Grammy nominations, they're up. That song's up for a Grammy, so it's not like it's way out of left field. I mean,
Well,
yeah, it's not mainstream genre, I suppose.
I'm
But
just stunned. I'm stunned that a late night audience can't handle a little
right.
drop D or drop B, whatever they were.
Well, that's
just good
that's
rock.
just a few folks, man. They make a big deal out about
Well, that's
they'll get 3 comments like that. The internet's
blow it up.
exploding
Oh
about
yeah, you're right. But that is a great comment, though. Geez, what kind of sheltered adult is this? I was sitting on the couch with my son, who was an adolescent, and he had to put that in all caps, of course.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting to see the musical guest because, son, hang on. I'm sure a nice group's coming on tonight. He turned to his son and said, as they sit on their ragged couch, it's going to be beautiful because, Jimmy Kimmel only has nice groups on. And then this group comes out and just kick ass. And, the stunningness of it all by how dare Jimmy Kimmel? How dare you put on a band other than a nice band? And I'm sure they're
covering
a nice
his
band.
adolescent's ears.
They look like delightful people. The one guy's got a proper beard. Well, sort of. He's working on it. He's working on a proper beard. So good for him. So I'm sure they're delightful people. The good people are knocked loose with Hoppy. because that song kicked ass. And the people are freaking, and some of the comments are just great because I had a mosh pit going too, and it's just you know, it says some people were shocked at the mosh pit, on Jimmy Kimmel. This is just the sad state of affairs.
Just the kids having good old fashioned fun, good old wholesome fun.
Oh my gosh. So
Just
yeah,
like
good.
we were at a show one time.
Yeah, he doesn't like scary things. Yeah, this poor kid. Your kid should be in bed, fella. What? Kimmel's on about 10:30 or whatever. Your kid should be in bed. So put your kid to bed and good grief. Never turn your kid on to Meshuggah or he's gonna have a childhood coronary for sure. Because them boys, they um somebody like this to see Meshuggah, really, he'd go into a coma or something. They are so bad ass. They are the baddest of the bad. So yeah, have Meshuggah. I should bring that up to Kimmel. He should have Meshuggah on just to see if he could melt down half of his audience. I think that'd be freaking classic. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But boy, oh boy, the people. Here's a story, Doc. Legends. Where are they? There they are. The legendary Dead Boys. Dead Boys. This is from classic rock site, for crying out loud. Headline: Punk legends Dead Boys have spectacularly fallen out over the alleged use of AI to generate, quote, fake ass robot vocals by original frontman Stiv Bators. Oh, yeah, Stiv Bators. Love it. Yeah, we just got to tell folks. Yeah, me and Doc back a few years back, couple, three, I don't know. We went
2
and
years
saw
ago, yeah.
went
2
and saw
years
the
ago,
Dead Boys
this past October, yeah.
in a club west of Chicago in one of the burbs. Went and saw the Dead Boys, and we ended up we ended up front row, baby, front row on the stage with a
Front
mosh pit
center,
right
man.
behind us, bashing us into the stage. It was perfect. My heart held up great. I was wondering about that, but it gave it its all, and it was quite a night. And Jake Hout, I don't
Jake
know how you
Hout.
pronounce Hout, Jake Hout. We'll just say Hout because it sounds better. Dead Boys frontman Jake Hout has hit out after leaving the band, but guitarist Cheetah Chrome isn't taking it lying down. Holy cow! So former Dead Boy Jake Hout, who left the band at the weekend, has hit out at his former employers. Wow, claiming that artificial intelligence has been used to generate new vocals in the style of original frontman Stiv Bators, who died back in 1990. Wow. And it's all, the Cleopatra Records. They seem to have their fingers in this out of LA. They announced a new Dead Boys album, their first new song since 78. And the first since the death of Baders in 1990. And it's going to be released next year. But the album that label claims the album would be, quote, seamlessly blend Stiv's distinctive voice with new elements, and that guitarist Cheetah Chrome's vocals would be, quote, artfully dusted with Stiv's iconic presence. Holy cow. What the hell are they talking about there?
Dude, this gets into some stuff here,
Dusted.
man. So so Jake's saying, yeah, that they're going to use Stiv's AI in there. And then, of course, Cheetah's saying, no, I'm not going to let that happen. But you read the whole article, it seems like Jake's finding something in the contract that maybe Cheetah's not aware of. And so that's kind of where he's at right now. And he's bailing on it. And he's getting out of the situation. And Cheetah's kind of, whatever. But this, it's a big deal. They had 2 albums back in the day. I have them both. And they haven't done anything since then. They got some folks, Clem Burke from Blondie, Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols, James Williamson from the Stooges, Michael Monroe, Hanoi Rocks. They're all making guest appearances on this, so it's kind of a big deal. But one thing of note, this is through Cleopatra Records. And this is the same record label that had the issue with Steve Marriott, where they doing the Steve Marriott AI. We talked about that when it came out. I don't know. It's been a few months back
and
now.
that didn't turn out well. The drummer did
So,
not like it at all.
yeah, they didn't want it at all. It was totally. Remember, it was his wife that was just his wife for like 6 months or something like that.
Right,
Period of time.
right. Oh,
So just because
yeah.
it was a sudden death because he got caught up in a fire.
Right.
There was no,
Oh.
the legal stuff was just kind of went to the wife, who, like I said, was just there for a short time. So she's cashing in on it.
Wow.
So this label seems to have that's kind of their MO is doing the AI thing.
Boy.
So I think from what I'm reading, Jake is picking up on something Cheetah's not picking up on. I think Cheetah's going to get blindsided here. Maybe he has enough, I don't know, juice or whatever to avoid that happening. But when it comes down to it, but I don't know. We'll see.
Why bring you got a great singer. We
Dude,
saw him.
everybody knows he's been dead for 30 years, 30 plus years at this point.
Their singer was great. We were right there a foot from him, man. He was
the cool part about that show. I don't know if you remember us talking about it. Was he went out into the audience and everything. Didn't have the wireless mic, had the cord, and went out so far that he unplugged. And Murph is standing there holding the end of the plug, and we're sitting there with the jack box. We're trying to plug it back in, trying to figure out where to plug it back in. And yeah, we were impromptu roadies, I guess, for the Dead Boys for a little bit.
That was
I got a set list from there. Remember, I got this. I got that somewhere out there.
Yes,
I should have brought that out. But
that was a good time,
big
man.
Dead Boy fan. That was a great time.
But boy, I don't know. What a bunch of brouhaha about nothing. Leave AI alone for now, gosh.
Yeah, just cool to see that they're going to be making a record again. I mean, they haven't since 78, 79. Young, Loud, and Snotty came out in 77, and then We've Come for Your Children, I think, came out the following year. So
they need to stop the tears. They need to stop the tears. I'm just saying. Oh boy. All right.
And anyway, that's just as anti-punk as you can get, like using AI. Like I said, Cheetah wouldn't let it happen, but he may be in over his head. He may legally have signed something he wasn't aware of, or maybe Jake's just being paranoid. I don't know. We'll see. I hope more comes out on this, but
they're all broke anyway. And just get out there and play, do something. Moving on, and we got to move on. There it is. There's a bullet. There's a bullet. And speaking of Michael Monroe, one of the Lemmy's bullets did go to Michael Monroe.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. Yeah. And all I got to say about Michael Monroe is eye makeup permanent, or does he have to put that on in the morning?
Yeah, right. That tattooed on, I think, at this point.
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. But anyway, moving on. Hey, here we go. We talk about Lemmy from classic rock, the good people of classic rock. Apparently, Lemmy's ashes are heading to some more of Lemmy's ashes are heading to a strip club in London.
Right on.
He loved the rock and roll spirit, and he certainly loved the view. Okay, let's dig into this a little bit here. Yeah, Lemmy's afterlife continues to be more lively than many people's actual lives. Yeah, how many ashes? What? I wonder if this came in the form of a bullet, or is this,
No, this came in. They have the urns that have his trademark hat, kind of thing, and the urns kind of look like that. So, or the ones that are at the festivals are. Anyway, I'm sure this is the same thing.
Yeah, it says here, legend Lemmy has left us almost 9 years ago, but his ashes continue to make headlines. In August, a convoy of 55 Harley-Davidson motorbikes, so this must be in London now, delivered a bus containing some of his cremated remains to Nottingham's Rock City, where they're now on display. And now,
you know what they need in Nottingham?
What?
A sheriff. I don't know.
God. The good sheriff of Nottingham. Yes. Yes. Big John twist his head off. Yeah. Or Little John, whatever. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a great movie, dude. Gosh almighty. The Adventures of Robin Hood. Oh, my goodness. Good grief. But anyway, so now iconic London strip club Stringfellows, set up by late Peter Stringfellow in 1980, is to play permanent host to more. The ashes will reach their final resting place at the venue on December 18th. where they'll be kept in an urn shaped like Lemmy's trademark cavalry hat. Their
Yeah.
arrival will be celebrated in a ceremony attended by Motorhead guitarist Filthy Phil Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Wow. How about that?
He's got nothing else going on. Yeah,
Oh,
we just keep hearing
man.
of all these things. They got him. There's a couple metal festival with the Walking Festival, Bloodstock. Of course, the Rainbow is famous. He has a statue there, and then he has
Sure.
an urn there. And then there's 100 of the bullets that are passed out to folks like Michael Monroe and Rob Halford and folks like that. They
All
have
sorts
them,
of
and
people.
and
Yeah.
now they have more. Are these legitimate? I mean, you know what I mean? Are they like
Yeah.
thinning it out? Are they stepping on his ashes a little bit, man? You know, they got some.
Stepping on it.
You know, yeah.
Oh, 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 man.
Honestly, though, okay,
Oh, my
it just seems like
God.
they're thinking like are really getting spread out here, man. I don't know.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Wow. That's a 80s term for sure.
Right?
Stepping on it. Wow, Doc. Well put. They got to be stepping on it, for God's sake. They can't clone them. So, they must be stepping on it. Oh gosh, I can give some suggestions, but what to use, but I won't. But oh yeah, they've been scattered all over. But they say that it's Stringfellows. It's a high-end strip club. There's a big welcome always there. And let me know the owner Peter since 1964. Stringfellows always held a
Those me,
special
yeah.
place in Lemmy's heart," said manager Todd Singer. He loved the rock and roll spirit Peter brought to the club. He loved the relaxed environment, and he certainly loved the view. I know he's relieved he can get back to enjoying one of his favorite places on the planet. Geez, come on, Lemmy, man. Well, the thing is, I believe, well, in the Catholic religion, I believe you're supposed to keep your ashes together. You're not supposed to
Okay.
fling them all over. So, mine are going to be together. You know, you know, I would scatter them, but what good is that? No
Yeah.
good. So yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
bury
it's like he's
them.
going to like all his favorite places, man. The Rainbow,
That's
the
true.
strip club, the metal festival.
And oh yeah, it's perfect for Lemmy. Good for him, man. Of course. And hopefully I'll get to see one of these legendary Lemmy Ash memorials or
Right?
bullets at some point. That'd be very cool.
Got
But
passing through Chicago at some point.
Lemmy. Wow. But yeah, very cool. What a show. What a crazy wanked out show, Doc. Jiminy creepers, man. Boy, the folks out there don't know. This is gonna be a great show. Man, oh man, it was hard to get to. We had little glitches through the whole thing, and yet here we are at the end, brother. Freaking A. So again, thanks folks for stopping by. We learned a lot this week. A lot of cool stuff. That 1989 thing blows my mind, Doc. That just
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. And that's quite
wow. The the same
quite
amount
notable.
of the whole year. Oh wow. But there you go, man. So thanks for stopping by, folks. Another, of course, crazy time coming on. Uh hopefully pretty soon our the summer concert festival starts filling up. We got a couple so far, but that's not enough. But in any case, stop on by next week and we will see you then. So why don't you take us home there, Doc?
Yes, yes. Another week. I learned a few things. Yeah, I learned there's a lot more crappy music coming out than we ever dreamed of. Uh, Another example of Alice Cooper family coming together, man. Just we just come up with one of these stories
Incredible.
every once in a while, man. Just
The best
and
touring outfit out there. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. And we learned Lemmy's ashes are having a better life than most people. So
You got that right.
other than that, see what we learn next time. Hope you'll join us. Please subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a couple friends, and see you next time. Have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.